Great story. I totally filmed this entire video and didn't have the microphone on. So here we are, lovelies, for take 2 of Cheap Art Supplies, Amazon edition. I wanted to do another dollar store video because, geez, you guys like those dollar store videos, but unfortunately because of COVID, the dollar store has been closed. Additionally, when it just reopened last week, it requires you to wear a mask, which kind of like muffles the voiceover for the tiny pocket camera that I have. So I thought, why not do an Amazon edition of Cheap Art Supplies? I've got a lot of information today to go over, so let's jump right into it. The first few things I want to mention are that all of the products that I mentioned are linked in the description box below. These are Amazon affiliate links, which means that if you click on those links and purchase anything from Amazon, I do get a kickback from Amazon. That is to help keep going, keep this channel consistently posting and updating. It helps to support what I'm doing here. So if you do purchase anything from those links, thank you, I appreciate it. I just want you to be aware that all of that being said, I never recommend products that I don't actually use and enjoy. I always stand by the products that I recommend, and that's just part of my personal ethics. I will never promote a product that I don't actually use or have never actually tried. Additionally, even in this video, I will talk about a few different ways that you can save money by purchasing the item off of Amazon, because Amazon isn't always the cheapest option for items. It's always good to shop around because prices also will fluctuate. Sometimes items are cheaper on Amazon and then 2 months later they're more expensive on Amazon and they're cheaper in store. I've noticed that art supplies have been a little bit more expensive than normal because of everyone shopping online because of the pandemic. So some of these things, I am listing the prices on them that they are currently right now as of June 2020. So if you're watching this later, the prices may actually be higher for some products, lower for other products. Most likely they're going to be lower because right now everyone's shopping online. Additionally, it is always something to be aware of when you're looking at the price of an item. If it's part of the 2-day free shipping that Amazon has, then your the price of the item is probably going to be higher because the shipping of that item is really just included in the price of the item. Always something to be aware of. I've got 16 different products, including different variations of the products to go over today. The first product I'm going to talk about are alcohol inks. The Ranger Adirondack alcohol ink packs are available on Amazon. They sell them in individual bottles for specific colors. They also sell them in packs of 3s, and some of them are a little bit more pricey, like the metallics, or some of the more interesting, unique colors. Like sometimes I find that the teal kits are a little bit more expensive. They range anywhere from $5 up to, I've seen up to $16 depending on the packs that you're buying. I've listed the individual and the 3-pack in the description box below so you can see both. I do recommend buying them in packs because they are cheaper unless you're looking for a specific color for a specific project. Alcohol inks are fantastic for a variety of different DIY projects. I've used them on metal when I was making jewelry, and then I put resin on top of it. Some really fun abstract stuff that you can do with them. You can also use them on vellum paper or any paper that has like a sheen or a shine to it that will allow the alcohol inks to kind of spread out and interact with each other. They also work great on tiles. Additionally, they are easy to play with. They're easy to have fun with. You don't have to really think about it a lot because you can't really control them a lot. So you kind of just have to let the magic happen. So it's a great art material if you're just looking something to play with. But it also is professional grade, and you can turn them into really beautiful, masterful paintings once you get really good at them. And they're super cheap. Additionally, I do like to mention that they do stain your clothes. They will stain your hands. So that is something to be aware of because they are a professional grade material. They do damage if you're not careful. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend them with small children who would get them all over their hands and all over an entire surface unless your child is a little bit more controlled. So the first thing I'm going to open up here is a Faber-Castell Clic Go. I actually have a cheap camping one of these that I purchased from a outdoor store, but I found this on Amazon and I'm so excited about it for the bus because I'm buying a lot of collapsible things for the bus. So this is a folding up cup for your water, and what I really liked about it was it has the ridges so that you can, when your brush is still wet, you can stick it on the ridge and let it dry out without setting it down on something. I just really liked this design. It's pretty durable and was super cheap. Faber-Castell is a great starting brand. I have never had a Faber-Castell supply that I haven't liked. To go along with my Faber-Castell, I have purchased a new set of brushes. And while I haven't tried these specific ones out yet, I've bought other packs on Amazon before. I've talked about it a lot in other videos, but I really love cheap brushes just as much as the expensive ones. I usually use the cheap brushes as base brushes, so doing overall coverage or a base wash, or if I'm doing, like when I'm doing a wood burning piece, any of the general washes of color that I do, I usually use cheaper brushes, especially on the wood, because wood does ruin brushes faster than paper does. I go for any of the brushes that have this like orangey colored tip. I do not go for any of the ones that have a brown tip because usually they're flaky and they fall apart. But these ones are all worth it. They're really great, nice, sharp, and clean. They work perfectly well, and this set here was under $10, which is really cool. I particularly love the ones that have the rounded edges like this. They're kind of hard to find, so I am really, really happy that this came with 2 of them. This is a really awesome set and a really nice find. A super cheap art supply that I love to mention is the Papermate Sharpwriter number 2 pencil. This is a fantastic pencil, mechanical pencil, and they're disposable. They're one-time use. You twist them out. I love them. They're cheap, throwaway. The erasers are pretty decent on them, and I love to take these when I'm traveling, rather than taking some of my nicer mechanical pencils that are refillable. These you can buy them in a pack of 12. I usually find they're around $7, but right now they're on sale for $3.99. So a pack of, I think 12. Yeah, a pack of 12 is only $3.99 right now on Amazon. So that's a steal. I love these. I'm going to be ordering another box because I'm getting down to my last 2 pencils. I totally love those and use them all the time. Another fantastic product that's available right now is the Winsor Newton Pocket Box of colors. I have the Winsor Newton Compact, which is 14 colors, but it's a travel kit, so it has a little thumb hole so that you can hold the palette like this, and you've got your tray and your colors and a little pop-out water tube all right there. That is $85, which is extremely expensive for most people. So because I use it on the road and I use it while traveling, it's worth it to me, but that's probably not going to be worth it to anyone who is just doing this as a hobby. So something that has come out that is a fantastic value is the Pocket Box, which has 9 colors. It has all the basic colors that you would need to do a hobby grade, a little illustration in a sketchbook. It's $14.46. It also has a little bit of a palette, and I do believe it comes with a small brush as well. So it doesn't have the water tray, but it is like less than a third of the price. It's much, much, much cheaper than the compact that I have. And it comes directly from Winsor & Newton. So you know the colors are good quality. This is also a great pocket pack to start with Winsor & Newton. I know the tubes can get really expensive. I use tube watercolors now. I do use the compact, but actually usually I carry my tubes as well as the compact, and sometimes when I run out of colors, I fill it with the tube color, which is going to produce a little bit more of a different result. All of that is more of if you're looking for professional grade quality, but if you're just getting started, the pocket pack with the little palettes work perfectly. And also I do want to mention that not a lot of people realize those little palettes, you can pull them out because they are replaceable. So if you find that you use yellows or greens more than any other colors, you can then buy the refillable little squares and just pop them in. Additionally, what that means is that they actually have refillable squares for colors that don't come in the pocket kit. So sometimes if you find that there's a color in there that you really don't like, you can purchase a different color that you might be more apt to use and just replace out that little square. So that's a great way to save money, to get the colors that you really want for the project that you're doing, and it's more affordable than buying a whole set of tubes or buying the larger scale compacts. Next up is the jelly rolled white gel pens. I'm actually really excited for these. I use, let's see here, I have been using these jelly roll white gel pens. These ones are the glaze from Japan. Some of them I purchased in Japan, but some of them I've purchased since coming back. I love them, but a few weeks ago I saw these on Amazon, which are the same exact thing, except they're different sizes. So I'm really excited to see how these stack up. I'm pretty sure these are 8s, which is the middle size here, but let's open this up and see. These pens are phenomenal. Let's test them out. So this is the glaze that I normally use. You'll see it has a bluish tint to it, but this will actually get whiter and whiter and whiter as it dries. Alright, so I put all of them out. You can see right off the bat how really nice these are. And I am so excited about the 5. It is so nice and thin, and that has been my only complaint about using gel pens, is how big the tips are. They're not great for fine details, but this pen, I'm going to try to find a set just of 5s. I'm so excited about these, and you can see the coverage is really great. It's even better than the one that I was using before. So I'm really excited to keep using these in new pieces. I'm gonna buy more of these from Amazon myself. I love this so far. Great product. I use the white gel pens as my highlights, and I use the dark black Micron pens as my shadows. So I'm gonna talk about Micron pens now. That's actually a really good segue. The sets of Microns. You can find all sorts of different types of Microns on Amazon. There's all different packs. There's packs of different colors. There's packs with different tip sizes. I usually stick to black, although you'll see here I do have a couple that are brown, a dark brown. But I usually work with black, and my favorite tip sizes are 2s and 1s, 5s, and double 05s, 005s, and 003s. Those are my 4 most used sizes. I would say 2s are definitely my most used size of all, because I find it has a really nice line weight. Sakura is an amazing brand out of Japan. Obviously it's cheaper to buy it straight from Japan, but you find good finds. Sometimes there's sets of these on Amazon for stupid cheap. And whenever I see that, I try to snag them. I have some that I have purchased from Japan and from Korea that were $20 a pen. So these are the lower end pens, but they work phenomenally, and they are great cheap art supplies. Next, I'm going to talk about the Colero. This case, you can see, has been through hell. This is obviously my well-used watercolor paint set that is metallic watercolors. They work phenomenally. I have done a variety of pieces with all these colors, and you can still see that the palettes still have a ton left in them. The consistency is phenomenal. You have to get them very wet before, like if you just brush your brush up across it, you'll get a very thin, not very metallic-y coverage, but if you really let the water soak in and then saturate your brush with them, they just produce really beautiful metallic watercolor lines and blends. I also have blended these with colors, and like if you blend the silver with a blue or a purple, it really is a beautiful array of watercolors. Highly recommend these if you want to try to use metallic watercolors. An example of a more expensive brand, and I have not seen this on Amazon, and these are more expensive than these. but just so you can see, this is an example of a more expensive brand of watercolors where you get the individual color palettes. They are also very good. They're fine tech. But these are 100% comparable to these, and they are cheaper. Next, I'm going to talk about Winsor Newton. Winsor & Newton ink is my favorite ink. I use it all the time in all of my black and white pieces. And I do recommend having pens like your Microns as well as having this. This makes general coverage really easy and quick. The Winsor and the big bottles that you can get on Amazon, this is a dropper. So you can very easily, rather than dipping your pen in the bottle, which can cause more of a mess, you can get your cheap dollar store palettes and drop some ink in there and use the palette instead of dipping your brush into your ink. So I love these. This is a brand new bottle. I just got a new bottle from Amazon. The last bottle, you can see here, still has a tiny little bit of ink in it. This bottle has lasted me, I want to say, close to 6 years. And that's producing pieces pretty consistently. Not full time, but I would say I produce probably at least 2 to 3 pieces a month with it for the last 6 years. It's at least 6. It might even be 7 now that I think of it. So it has held up very nicely. This is also archival, which means it'll last a really long time for those of you that don't know. The coverage is great. You can also water it down, and it is still waterproof once it dries. So obviously you can water it down, you can do thin washes with it, but then once it dries, it is waterproof and doesn't bleed. It's just a really amazing ink. Highly recommend it. And on Amazon you can order colors as well, which I have ordered many colors, but these are 2 of the most common colors. They look kind of dark on my, oh, you can kind of see the reflections there. They look kind of dark, but this one produces, actually I'll show you. We'll break out these brushes. So you can see this is Viridian. It's a very teal-y color, light blue teal. I love this color. I don't use it a ton, but I just really love it, and I'm glad I have it, and I got it from Amazon. Then I also got this ultramarine, which is a nice rich blue. And I have done some really nice pieces of art using the black and then using the ultramarine blue as a secondary color, and it came out awesome. I love Winsor & Newton ink. I will always recommend it. Just make sure you're buying the ones that are waterproof. Unless you want one that's not waterproof, they do have a black ink that is not waterproof if you want one that is malleable. I just want to jump in here and talk real quickly about something that I noticed recently, is that there is what's called the Henry collection available directly from Winsor & Newton on Amazon. It's a pack of 8 different inks, including the black ink, and it's available right now for $19.99, so just under $20. It has all of the base colors that you would need, so that is like a steal. I really think that that is a great product. I'm assuming the price is going to jump back up. Some of their other sets of 4 are also under $20, but the 8 pack is really where it's at. That's going to be your best value for the amount of ink that you're getting with the variety of colors, especially if you're just starting out. That's a good place to start. Something that I don't have with me today, but I also wanted to mention, was the Winsor & Newton white gouache. If I don't have it with me today because it's in the studio, but I recommend it. It's been in every single inking video that I've ever done. You have seen the white gouache. Even if I didn't mention it, you've probably seen me adding it onto the pieces, because the white gouache provides a really nice coverage for when you're doing inking and you make a mistake. The white gouache covers it very easily. You can also have a white acrylic, but the thing I like the best about the gouache is that it works with my watercolors. I can blend them in with my watercolors, but then I can also use it with my inking pieces to cover the ink. So it's not like acrylic. It's more of like, it's the in-between. If you're not familiar with gouache, gouache is in between watercolor and acrylic. Once it dries, it's permanent like acrylic, but when it's wet, it's malleable and you can re-wet it after the fact. So it's really, really nice product to work with. I will mention that you can get larger tubes in places like Dick Blick online that are cheaper per amount of product that you're receiving. So if you know that you're going to use it on multiple projects like I do, it's worth it to get the bigger tubes off of Amazon because they are cheaper. If you're looking for a great detailed doodling pen, I highly recommend the Pilot G2, and I get the 0.38, which is not as common. It's not the standard size, it's smaller than that. And this is a fantastic fine line doodling pen. I love these pens, and I order them in boxes off Amazon. They're great for doodling. They are not waterproof 100%, but they do stand up fairly well. I just think they're a really great doodling pen, and you can get really fine details with them, and they're super, super, super cheap. So this is a great example of a nice, cheap art supply that can be used. I wouldn't recommend using them with watercolors, but if you're just looking to doodle, these are great pens. Next up, another example that I don't have because again it's at the studio, is Prismacolor. Actually has two different sets that are under $20. Prismacolor is a fantastic colored pencil, especially if you're just getting started in the more intermediate to professional quality. It's a softcore pencil, which means it breaks very easily. It's not like a hard pencil, so you do have to be careful with them. If you're heavy-handed, then Prismacolor probably isn't for you. But the cool thing about Prismacolor is that it's fantastic at blending, and especially if you're getting into portraits, Prismacolor is really, really good at allowing you to blend colors and make layers and produce a really nice professional quality product. So right now they actually have two different packs, the 12 pack and the 24 pack that are available. The 12 pack is $12.76 and the 24 pack is $19.39. Those packs provide you with the base colors, and then if you want to get into things like portraits, then maybe get a few of the flesh tone pencils individually, and that is going to be the cheapest way to get all the necessary colors that you would need to really step up your game. So that's a way that you can get those colors, get your base colors, get the specific tones that you need for whatever you're drawing that aren't in the base color set, and that will be probably close to under $25, but the starter sets are under $20. So that's a good way to dip your feet in the water without buying one of their $50, $80, $150 sets that have all the colors. I personally have purchased the $150 set, and that's what I have used when I went through a colored pencil phase. I got out of the colored pencil phase, and so they kind of just sit in a packet on my shelf, but I keep them because they are very valuable material that is archival, that will last me probably my whole lifetime at this point, with how little I've actually used them after I got out of that phase. 2 weeks ago, I did a review of Asani and Artistro acrylic paint pens. To see the full video, you can click on the little eye above, or I'll link it in the description box below. I made little rock animals each with a different set of pens. Overall, I did like the Asani set better than the Artistro, but both of them were fantastic pen sets for their price points. I think they worked really well. They had great coverage on the rocks. I was really, really, really surprised. They also worked fantastic on paper. I show you all of that in the video. The only thing I didn't test out was glass, but other than that, they just worked great for what I needed them for, and for the rock. I'm totally going to continue to use them while I make new rock animals. So they were really, really fantastic for that. Both of them were under, the Asani was $14.99, and that actually was my favorite, and then the Artistro was $17.99, and they both came with the same amount of colors, and they were just really, really nice products. So if you're looking for some nice acrylic pens, these would be fantastic to use with kids. I also want to mention I bought the Ultra Fines. They have the really nice thin tips for little tiny details, because of course that's my favorite. They also have thicker markers in a medium size and a larger size as well, that I believe all those sets are still under $20. Definitely 2 thumbs up for both of those brands. The last thing I want to mention is something that I'm actually really super excited about, and that is the Strathmore Tone sketchbooks. These used to be $30. They have slowly come down in price. I'm not sure if that's because they're not as popular as they used to be, or if it means that Strathmore has found a more reliable manufacturer, but these are incredible sketchbooks. They are hardcover and they're toned. They come with toned paper. The reason I like working with toned paper is because then you can use black pens to do your shadows and the white Sakura gel pens to do your whites. I used Strathmore Tone sketchbooks for all of my bullet journaling. So if you saw any of my bullet journaling videos from a few years ago when I was doing it really regularly, you'll know that I used both the blacks and the whites. I also used the Strathmore Tone sketchbooks for travel journals. So this is an example of my South Korea travel journal. I cut and pasted in my brochures. It's a very heavyweight paper, so it really took the abuse of gluing in different things and sketching in it. So these are different examples of that from Korea. I took this book with me all over the place while I went to different museums and different monuments and things, and it took a lot of abuse, and it still looks like it's in really good shape because these are so nice. The hardcovers are so nice. Anyways, they're now available directly from Strathmore on Amazon for $18.69, which is a phenomenal price. That being said, you can still get them cheaper, even though Michaels sells them for more expensive than you find them on Amazon. If you wait to get one of those like 60 to 50% off coupons from Michaels, you can then take those coupons and buy one of these sketchbooks for 50 to 60% off. And that is the cheapest way that I have found to get them. And every time I get one of those coupons, I go buy one of those sketchbooks so that I have a stockpile of them. So I've actually got 5 to 6 sketchbooks that I haven't even touched yet that are waiting to be used because I get them whenever I get one of those coupons. Additionally, something I do want to mention is that those coupons are sneaky, and they are applied to the cheapest item that you purchase. So what I usually do is if I have to buy other things, I purchase the sketchbook in cash with the coupon, and then I make a second transaction for all my other items on a card. That way the cashier it has to apply the coupon to that specific product, which usually they're used to or fine with. That is it for supplies. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do give it a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing. Leave me some feedback in the comment box below. Let me know if you found this video helpful. I hope you were able to find out about a few more supplies that you may not have considered previously, or that you didn't realize were in your price point, because a lot of these are supplies that I use as a professional. Sometimes people feel like professional grade materials are out of their price range, but really they're not. They're very affordable. They're all under $20, and you can really mix and match and pick the things that mean the most to you first to get you started, and then upgrade as you go along. I remember what it's like being a broke college art student. I remember what it's like using coupons and skimping and saving and trying to get the cheapest option. So if you are like that as well, even if you don't need to be, I know some people just really like a good bargain. It's always good to check Amazon. It may not be your cheapest option, but the convenience for me is more than worth it. And I do continue to look for better prices in other places. Dick Blick has really awesome sales at different parts of the year, and they also deliver right to your door. Michaels is great, Hobby Lobby is great, but the good thing about Amazon is it's also international. I know a few of you are not located in the United States. I do have some international people that watch my videos, so Amazon should be available to most countries. It's not available to all countries, but it's available to most. But a lot of these brands are also overseas brands anyways. I believe Winsor & Newton is overseas, and I know Strathmore I think is as well. So there's a lot of really, really good options for art supplies out there that won't break your bank. If you have any other suggestions for cheap art supply videos or any cheaper art supplies that you want me to review on this channel, please do let me know in the comments. All of my videos are made due to suggestions from my audience. I love listening to you guys, I love hearing your opinion, and I want to create video content that you really enjoy and find useful. So please do leave me any suggestions you want in the comment box below, or be sure to subscribe and head on over to the community tab where you can vote on polls on what video you want to see next or what topic you want to see with Draw With Me's. I love interacting with you guys over on the community tab, so be sure to check that out. Anyways, that was very long-winded, and I've now spent over an hour on this because I had to re-record it twice. And so I am very tired and my voice is sore, and I'm sure you're sick of hearing from me now. But thanks so much for watching, and until next time, remember to create, love, and travel on. Bye!